Welcome into BamaCentral 3 and Out with Joey Blackwell and Mason Smith. I'm Katie Wyndham. It is Ole Miss week for Alabama football, which means they are going up against former offensive coordinator Lane Kiffin once again. Of course, Lane Kiffin has had all sorts of cheeky comments this week, whether, it's him tweeting out a book yesterday about Nick Saban's leadership style or not letting Feinbaum, add goat fuel. And so, last year he had the infamous quote before the game started, "Get your popcorn ready," before Alabama jumped out to a huge lead. But this is an Alabama team that's a little beleaguered right now, coming off their second loss of the season. So, Joey, I'll start with you. What do you think? Is this going to be Lane Kiffin's best shot to beat Alabama and Nick Saban so far?
So far, I think it is. You're playing a Bama team that's kind of down. You have the opportunity to kick them while they're down. It's a road game at Ole Miss. On top of that, they have a really strong rushing attack as well as a solid passing attack, which Alabama has struggled against teams, but particularly that have dual threat quarterbacks, which Jackson Dart is more than capable of running the football. I think that they have a prime opportunity. It might not be his best, opportunity ever, but I think it's definitely his best opportunity since coming to Ole Miss. They also have a pretty strong defense as well. I think they're going to give Alabama some trouble. And this is what I've said all week. I think this game will come down to how Alabama responds. I think if Alabama responds from that LSU game with a fire under their rear ends, then I think they're going to win. But if they come out, with their tail between their legs because they already have two losses, then it's Lane Kiffin's to lose at that point.
Joey, I definitely agree with you on that. I think this is going to be more about, can Alabama sustain the energy to finish the season strong, as so many players have talked about early this week. As far as Ole Miss's side, I'm really impressed with how Quinshawn Junkins and Jonathan Mingo are going to show up for the Rebels. Alabama's always been strong against the run, regardless of who they play. But when it comes to the pass defense, that's where it's always kind of been in question. So with a top five receiving yard catcher with Jonathan Mingo that they have to face, and then with Quinshawn Junkins that can have a play action effect to the offense, I think it's going to be a lot for the Alabama defense to take on. Not really worried about the offense too much for Alabama. I think Bryce Young will always continue to do what he does. It's just a matter of the receivers will be able to step up and finally be what we think they're going to be this season. But of course, that remains to be seen. So I think this is Lane Kiffin's best shot to beat Alabama.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be all about how Alabama responds. But I think you could also argue that a while ago, Kiffin had one of his best shots at beating Alabama, one of Nick Saban's two perfect teams, the 2009 team that went on, obviously, to win the national championship, but needed a blocked field goal from Terrence Cody at the last minute to win that game, when who was the head coach of Tennessee on the other sideline but a young Lane Kiffin, which it is pretty wild to think about how long ago that was now, and all the transformation that's gone on for him. And both Tennessee and Ole Miss in that time. And yeah, Alabama stayed steady with Saban since then. But that'll about do it for BamaCentral's 3 and Out today. Thank you so much for watching.